Hi, this is Richard Murray with another session of Parking Lot Theology. I want to talk to you today about judging and being judged. I think one of the worst feelings in the world is when we feel as if somebody is judging us. And it can be a group, it can be a person, it can be a friend, it can be an enemy, it can be a local congregation of this, that, or the other. It can be the social clique. It can be anything. But when we have this sensation that we're being judged, it's a very painful feeling, and it seeks to rob us of our authenticity and to feel condemned and to feel out of place and to feel alien. And it's an ugly thing. And, there's something in us that senses it, verbally and non-verbally. Either way, we just sense airwaves here that, you're being judged. But here's what I've come to realize about that sort of thing. When somebody is judging us, first off, we could be wrong. It could be that they're not even thinking about us at all, and they're not judging us at all. So we could be wrong. But even if we're right, what does it do when I say, I know this person is judging me? I know this group is judging me. I walk into this church and I feel judged. I walk out of this church and I feel judged. It can be any group, again. But what's going on here? And what happens when I judge that somebody is judging me? Well, I've judged them. And when I judge them that way, then, what I've noticed that percolates in my own heart is that I start getting angry at them. And I start really judging them, just the hypocrisy, this, that, and the other. And then I find that I'm somehow connected myself to their judgment. And they're judging me, and I'm judging them. I stumbled across a secret, though, one day when I felt an illumination come from the Lord that was, you do realize you don't have to judge anybody. And I'd never thought about that way. But I tell you, that's one seed has really reaped a harvest in my life, because it's not my place to judge them as either judgmental or not judgmental. It's my place to not judge them at all. Because if I judge them, then I'm opening up myself to their judgments. I'm binding myself to it. I'm ball and chaining myself, and we're both, it's like one of those ancient fights where they tie you together with a chain and you have to, fight each other. And whereas we don't have to engage judgment at all. So what if they're judging? Well, first off, we could be mistaken. Again, we could be mistaken. They're not judging us at all. But even if they are judging us, and so what? I'll never forget Michael Jordan said something, somebody confronted him with a critique that someone else had said about him. What do you think about so-and-so? And it was a famous player who said this about you. And he just sort of snickered and said, so? And you could tell that he didn't genuinely care what the person said. And of course, we want to be liked. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think the point of this, though, is when we judge something, we bind ourselves to it to some degree, and we acknowledge a spear wound from it, and then it's like we're trying to pull the spear through us to get it out of us, and it's just ripping and doing more damage and more damage. So the idea that we don't have to judge is a beautiful thing, because if they're judging us, that's their issue. And that's their issue they need to deal with in their own eye. But I need to deal with my own eye, and that's not judging them back. The Greeks used to talk about these spirits, the muses, the Furies. And the Furies would go around inciting people to judge each other. And then they would work in the family and in the circumstances to get this person to resent this person. And then they do the same thing there, playing each other, playing both sides, to fight each other and flaming them up and drawing strength from the animosity that was being bandied about. So anyhow, the master key to all this is that we don't judge at all. And that's not the same thing as judging they're good or judging they're bad. It's not judging at all. It's merely looking for God. It's looking for God in all the right places. It's looking for God in them, in their faces. That rhymed accidentally, but it's looking for God in all things. I think it was Meister Eckhart who said that we must look at all things and penetrate all things and try to find God there, and that's what we're to do. And I think what keeps us clean and pristine, and I'm rhyming again, what keeps us clean and pristine is not judging. because judging requires an investment of your heart, and our heart energy is so valuable and so precious to keep it pure and keep it focused on the Lord, and to genuinely not care. I've been so blessed by the passages in the New Testament that talk about whatever you do in thought or deed, do it as unto the Lord and not unto men. If I need men's approval and I don't get men's approval, I'm going to judge them for not approving me. And it could be just not approving me, or it could be hating me. It could be judging. This culture just judges things left and right. It's become a cultural hiccup, cultural reflex that we're trained that way, and we see it happen. And but to be truly invincible from it and protected from it, we have to not judge back. And I think that's sort of that's a Jesus thing, right? We turn the other cheek, walk the extra mile, and we bless, we bless our enemies, and we want their good, and that good overcomes evil. But if I'm judging the other person, I'm using evil judgments to counter evil judgments. And it's just one might be less evil than the other, but they're both evil. But anyway, I hope that blesses you, and that we can stay fixated on the amount that we can eliminate a lot of pain in our lives and a lot of discomfort if we work it in us to be so leaning into the Lord in our social interactions that I am not going to let anything lure me out to judge the other person, even if it's for judging me. Paul said at some point, it's a small thing for us to judge each other. It's such a small, petty thing, and Paul in those situations would just commit himself to the Lord. He wouldn't get engaged in the frick-frack between judging, going back and forth like a tennis ball. So anyway, I hope that blessed you.